As the temperatures warm up, what you're going to start seeing is weeds growing, whether you see a couple of weeds or you see a bunch of weeds. The question is, how do you tackle them? Let's talk about it really quick.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So when you're dealing with weeds, there are two ways that you can be able to go after these weeds. And those two ways are going to be spot spraying and blanket spraying. The difference between the two is that spot spraying is when you're spraying weeds here and there. And blanket spraying is when you're spraying everything. But how do you know which one to do? Let's talk about blanket spraying first. So the reason why you're going to do what we call blanket spraying is because you see weeds over the whole entire lawn. You see weeds next to your sidewalk. You see weeds all up in your lawn. I mean, these weeds are everywhere. That's when you want to cover your weed control over the whole entire lawn. So when you go to your big box store, to your weed control section, you're going to see a bunch of different weed controls. And there's going to be two that I want you to choose from. The number one option is going to be the one where you can hook up to your water hose. The other option is going to be where you're using a concentrated formula where you're going to pour that weed control into either a pump sprayer, a hand sprayer, or anything where you could be using a large amount of that particular weed control. So if purchasing the one that you're going to hook your water hose to it is going to be your option, it's going to be self-explanatory because you're just going to be spraying your whole entire lawn. But the thing I want you to know first is how big the area it is that you're going to be spraying. The reason why is because when you go to the store, you will know if you need to get either one or two or maybe 3 bottles of that particular item. Now, the second option, if you're going to be doing blanket spraying, is where you're using the concentrated formula. Now, this part, you're going to be taking a certain amount of ounces and putting it into either your pump sprayer, your backpack sprayer, or maybe your mobile equipment and covering your whole entire lawn as well. Remember, blanket spraying means you're covering your whole entire lawn, all of the grass, leaving nothing untouched. Now, when it comes to spot spraying, what you're not going to be doing is spraying your whole entire lawn. Spot spraying is when you see a weed here, when you see a weed there, maybe just a few weeds in a couple of spaces, hence the word spot spraying. Now, of course, when you're in your big box stores, there's going to be a few options for you. You're going to have this one where it's going to be in a spray bottle where you can spray them individually. You're going to have the large spray container that has the wand attached to it. And last but not least, the one where you still can be able to mix your weed control into a small hand container or a backpack sprayer. So the one that is in the spray bottle and the one that has the large wand that is attached to it, those particular sprays are what we call ready to use sprays. You don't need to mix it. You don't need to measure it. It's already mixed for you. The only thing that you have to do is just walk up to your weed, spray it, and then be gone about your business. And of course, the other one, the concentrated formula, is going to be the same as if you were doing a blanket spraying. You're just going to mix a certain amount into your handheld pump sprayer or your backpack sprayer, and you're going to spray your weeds individually. Now, when it comes to spot spraying, regardless if you're using a professional herbicide or if you're using a store-bought product, don't mix too much of it. Before you do any mixing, walk your lawn, take account of how many weeds that you have. That right there is going to let you know how much that you need to mix before you actually go out to spray. If you mix too much and you say, oh, I'll just hold on to it, maybe some weeds are going to pop out next month, it's going to lose its efficacy. And if that's the case where you want to hold on to it just for future reference, it's better that you get the ones that are already pre-mixed, either the one that you can use with a spray bottle or the one that you have with a wand. Now, regardless if you're blanket spraying or if you're spot spraying, if you're using a professional product or if you're using a store-bought product, make sure that you read and understand the label before you use it. A lot of people are going to have kids. A lot of people are going to have pets. There's going to be a certain time that you can get on the lawn after you sprayed it. And there's going to be a certain time that you need to spray your lawn before it rains. There's also going to be some PPE that you need to read up on and wear, not only to protect yourself, but to protect others. Now, if you have henbit, chickweed, clovers, or even dandelions, you better watch this video right here. Especially the part where I'm talking about dandelions. Because that there, my friend, is going to trip you out. Check this video out.